As the Israel Hamas ceasefire continues to break down, the question arises, what action will Israel take against the terror group? Shalom to Professor Mordechai Kedar of Bar Ilan University.
Hello.
Now, Hamas is requesting a 24-hour ceasefire. How do you understand this?
In the upper level, it seems like they want to enable the Egyptians to bring in a convoy of support, of food, into Gaza, and in order to make nice face towards the Egyptians, they declared 24 hours of ceasefire. But in the lower layer is the fact that they want to show everybody, Israel and Egypt, that they are the masters of Gaza. When they want a ceasefire, it will be a ceasefire. When they want fire, there will be fire. And everybody should take this situation in account, and nobody should challenge the Hamas government in Gaza. This is what they want to show everybody.
What do you believe Hamas's long-term strategy to be?
To sustain and to remain forever the rulers of Gaza and, inshallah, the rulers of all Palestine. This is what they want. This is their goal. They started with Gaza, and they hoped with the time, after they established their government in Gaza, being recognized by the Arab world, by Israel, by all the other nations as well. When they will be a legitimate regime in Gaza, they will try to expand their rule all over Palestine.
And what do you expect Israel to do in regards to Hamas?
The question is what Israel wants. If Israel wants to have normal life, we can have actually Islamic State near us for a while. However, the problem is that this Islamic State might turn into something which will host jihadists and terrorists, just like Afghanistan as it was until 2001. And this is the real bad potential of having an Islamic Emirate or Islamic State wherever it is in the world, especially here in the Middle East.
Now, Mordechai, what means are effective in defeating Muslims in warfare?
Muslims, just like others, want to live. And if you threaten the connection between their heads and their shoulders, and if you prove that you are going to challenge this connection, they will accept the reality. They do not want to be shaheeds, and they do not want to die. They want to live in order to rule. So if they feel that they are in danger, means physical danger, that they will be personally targeted, they may change their behavior and what they do.
Now, Professor, let's relate to the news from the north. Does Syria actually want peace with Israel?
Syria, or you cannot talk about Syria. You can talk about the Syrian regime, because it's two different things. The Syrian regime has its own agenda, and Syria as a state might have another totally different agenda. The Syrian regime wants to survive as a regime, well, in spite of the fact that there are a small minority of Alawis who are there in Syria. And they would do everything in order to remain in power. Of course, they want the Golan back because they want to show that they liberated the Golan. But they want also other things. They, as much as I understand it, are putting a trap to the government of Israel. And unfortunately, Prime Minister Olmert fell into this trap. They made some kind of impression that if they only get the Golan and a good a package of support from the world, especially from the United States of America, they will consider leaving Iran and, let's say, moving to the Western world more. I think that this is the trap. Why? They always said that they are willing to send back to Israel some 400,000 Palestinians or people who are descendants of those who lived before in Tiberias, in Sfat, in Haifa, in Acre, and in places until 1948. The Syrians constantly say that they will never give up on their right to return into Israel proper, not to the Palestinian state, to Israel proper. What I think is that the Syrians, after they get the Golan, after they, as if, have a peace with Israel, they will find out that those refugees still have not yet gone to Israel, and they will stop the peace process after they have the Golan because of this reason of the refugees. Of course, Israel will never accept these refugees again. Many of them are not originally from here. Many of them are originally from Syria, but they came here to work before 1948, so they do have the right to return to their home in Syria. But the Syrians do not accept it. So this is why I think that the whole thing with the peace negotiations now with Syria are a trap, which the government of Israel, for some unknown reason, volunteered to fall into.
Now, some are saying the current situation with Syria is the best peace arrangement. What do you think regarding the current situation between the countries?
No, it's not an ideal situation. We are in a state of war with Syria, although the war is not active war, but still it's not a desired or desirable situation. The desirable situation is what goes on between France and Germany. The question is what prices Israel should pay in order to have normal relations with Syria. The problem is that Syria doesn't have normal relations with many of the Arab states. So how can we expect, as Israeli and Jewish state, to have normal relations with Syria? Syria does not know what normal relations are. So how can they give it to us when they cannot give it to their Arab brethren?
Now, Professor Kedar, do you think Syria will engage Israel directly in war?
Again, it's connected to the accounts of the regime. If the regime thinks that it can remain with a war, they might more easily think about war. If they think that they will be kicked out, either by Israel or by others, because of such a war, they will reconsider every thought about war.
Professor Mordechai Kedar, thank you very much.
You're welcome.